All right, everyone. I am here with Rick Trevino. Hey, Rick.
Hey, how you doing, Jennifer?
Great. How are you?
Yeah, doing great. Yeah, nice.
Good. With Palm Beach, or he's with Palm Realty out of Redondo Beach, California. It must be nice there.
Yeah, it's nice. We're about maybe 4 blocks from the beach, so yeah, love the location, love the neighborhoods.
It sounds
Great spot.
like life.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
Well, the reason I wanted to have you on is because we just posted an episode on the podcast about should you attend your inspections. And you had said in California, you guys do something a little interesting. And what is it for the inspections?
Yeah, so in addition to the home buyer hiring a home inspector, California agents are also required to take a look at the house for themselves. And there's a form called the agent, it's an AVID, Agent Visual Inspection Disclosure. So we basically walk around the house, take a look at every room. We don't move anything, we don't operate anything. It's just a visual inspection. So if we see obvious things like a cracked window, or if there's like a cracked cement in the driveway, those are the types of things that we'll call out. If there's
You
stains, we'll call
did
out.
farm,
Yes.
but wouldn't those, you guys have property disclosures, right, by the seller?
Correct. Yes.
I would think that this visual inspection, even though I hear what you're saying, it's like it's visual, it's not like it's not taking the place of any inspector. It seems like that would open up liability.
Yeah. Well, what was happening was that agents weren't going there and weren't telling the buyers the obvious things, right? Like a crack window, or just things that are obvious to us as agents, okay, which are easily seen, okay, which could be called out. So, and there were lawsuits because of that. So, in order
Oh,
to stop that, we're doing this is by all means just like a bare minimum, okay. And I'm closing up a deal next week where this house was immaculate. And the only thing that I was able to point out on the AVID, the Agent Visual Inspection Disclosure, was holes in the wall from the artwork, okay, stains in the garage, okay. We can't say what the cause of it is. We just say it's stain on the floor, on the cement, and
right.
cracks. Yeah, and that's it.
So does it happen after the inspection or before?
I usually do it at the same time. So home inspector is doing his thing, I'm doing my thing, and then I actually have my home buyer show up about an hour after the home inspector starts, so that the home inspector can get done and do a summary of.
That's
Yeah.
been the pretty common response. There's like half of, so you're on Team Monica, because half of us are like, we don't do anything with the inspections because it's like none of our business. And then Team Monica and obviously Team Rick are show up like an hour later. But you guys, I mean, you guys sound like you have to be there anyway for this visual.
Yeah, we have to be there. I saw some of the remarks, some of the comments by other agents. So in California, or at least in Southern California where I'm at, the home inspectors do not have access to the lockbox keys. So we have to be there to open it up. And at that point, I let them do their thing. I don't make any comments. I let
Yeah.
the interaction strictly between the buyer and the home inspector. And my whole thing with the buyers showing up an hour after it starts is I let them know that, look, the inspector's almost done. So you go and take a look around. You've got your notepad, write down any questions that you have. And then during the summary that the home inspector is giving you, if there's anything that's not covered, then you have an opportunity to call them over to that spot that you have a question about.
That's true. And that makes a lot of sense. And that seems like it would be really helpful. Do you guys also have like a lot of people that are buying like sight unseen or out of town buyers?
Not wholly. I mean, like my current deal, the buyer was a referral. They're still up in San Jose. So it was the wife that saw it online. And we wrote an offer just after a FaceTime walkthrough. Okay. So we wrote an offer based on that. The husband was able to come down the following week for the home inspection. So that took care of the sight unseen part of it, because we could still back out after the
Right.
physical inspection. Yeah.
Right. So the lawsuit that caused this visual inspection was because the aid, I still don't understand why the agent would be responsible for pointing out like nail holes and like why that's
Well, I'm sure that it was a lot more than nail holes, but at the
probably.
at the same time, because California is very litigious,
Yeah.
I'm sure that there were a number of lawsuits that were caused by just simple things that could have been pointed out. That who knows? Maybe it was a buyer that wasn't there, and they didn't do their due diligence, so they needed to sue somebody.
I'm just surprised that it got that far. Do you guys also have to write on like on your contracts like the make and model number of the appliances and stuff like that?
No, I'll usually just
Not
take a
yet.
picture. If there is a refrigerator or anything that's going to be included, I'll just take a picture of it. Okay, and if they try to do the switcheroo and say, "Wait a second, here's the picture," and it
Here's the
doesn't
picture.
match what the yeah.
Right. Plus it's in the multiple listing system too. It's like, okay,
Mhm.
what are you doing here? That's
Yeah.
funny. Well, I appreciate you coming on. And that's like one of the great things is like talking to other agents and seeing how things are done, you know, because sometimes it's like there's some best practices and things that we can share
Mhm.
across each other. Because, like in our market, we don't want to say anything to the buyer about the house because then it's like, well, you said that whatever, like you saw some water stains in the basement. It's like, okay, well, I'm not like a basement expert. Like, I don't know.
Mhm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, and that's following the home inspection. Um, I always put it back on the buyer and say, okay, based on what your conversation was with the home inspector, is there
Yeah.
anything that you have a question about? Did you have a concern about that's going to keep you up at night? If so, then that's another professional that you can hire so that you can eliminate that question from your mind. Okay, because this is all about you and your comfort level with purchasing this home.
That's a great way to put it too. I think that's good verbiage.
Mm.
Well, I really appreciate you being on. Thank you.
You're welcome. All right. See you next time.
Bye.
Okay, bye bye.